So let's take a look at a demonstration of the features we just discussed within Vault Workgroup. And this is a day in the life of a file that's going through change inside of Autodesk Vault. We're going to see this from the perspective of three different people. The first is the engineering manager, who's going to be working within Vault Workgroup, the thick client. The second person is going to be the designer, known as Dave Designer, and he's working inside of Inventor and performing the CAD work and checking the files back in. And the third person is going to be the shop floor, the downstream consumer. We're going to see how different people's roles and how the life cycle state of the part affects their work and what they can see. Starting with the manager's vault, we examine the work to be performed, and the manager is going to go in and search for all center shafts inside of his vault. Notice from the results that he sees a variety of parts and drawings ranging in various life cycle states from work in progress all the way through to obsolete. The designer, however, will need to perform this work by first modifying the life cycle state of this assembly from released back to work in progress, allowing for modification. As the designer goes to replace that particular center shaft, he's going to use the same means that the manager did earlier. We'll see that the results are slightly different, as the designer is not able to see data that's set to obsolete. So the choice is clear. He'll choose the work in progress center shaft. Further modifications to the center shaft include checking this out from Vault, solidifying our changes by checking it back in directly from inside of Inventor, and we'll move the revision forward to reflect our changes. Finally, to lock this file down and to ensure that no further modifications are made, the designer can set the lifecycle state to released. The next step is to ensure that the drawing is up to date. A quick look at the end view, we can see that we have our new feature of the bore and the keyway through there. So we'll simply check this drawing file in as it seems to be complete. We'll bump the revision level, and this time we're going to use a numeric revision and come back into the vault. The manager can see that the data has been complete. The part, the assembly, and the drawing. Looking at the properties that are mandated on top of this drawing, we see that we have some property policies. And what this means is anybody, even the manager, if they try to release this file, it's going to be a non-operation. It's going to watch and let you know that there is still some work to be done. So in this case, the manager will edit the properties that correlate directly down to the border and the title block of that particular detail drawing. Finishing the work and coming back into the vault, we see that the properties have been filled in, the file is now compliant, and we are ready to change the lifecycle state to release. As the file is released, let's take a look at this from a non-CAD access as a shop floor user. The shop floor goes to browse and navigate through the folders. Note that the structure is slightly different for them, as they have the privileges to see just documentation and drawings, and specific to drawings, only data that's released. Zooming into the title block and examining the drawing, the properties that were filled out by Mike Manager right before release are represented in the title block. But we do have some missing dimensions on that end view. To remedy this, we'll log back in as the manager inside of Inventor. And since this is a non-form or fit or function change to the particular drawing, we're going to change the life cycle state to what's known as a quick change, thus bypassing a revision bump. This allows us to zoom in on this end view, check the file out, add in the necessary dimensions, and check the file quickly back in. We'll change the life cycle state right back to release. This again will solidify our change. We notice that the revision has stayed at 2. Now that the drawing is done, the shop floor user can examine the updated print made by the manager and then add this to an existing plot job inside of the Vault. Here we have a plot list that's already in progress containing a variety of both CAD drawings and Word documents. We'll add this updated detail of the center shaft to the print, to the plot job. We'll save this down, knowing that we can submit it at a later time as additional plots are added to this. So in this demonstration, what you've seen is how Autodesk Vault Workgroup can control the access to data based on not only the lifecycle state, but the user roles and permissions and access, all the while built on top of Autodesk Vault, yet adding in the features that we need for true revision and release management. Stay tuned for future podcasts where we do a deep dive on revisions, life cycles, categories, user-defined properties, and so on. Thanks.